Hello everyone, it's the same here, and we're at it again, but this time we're doing the T2 level 55 guild bosses. We currently just skilled Pakilo Naru. What I wanted to show you is that these T2 guild bosses have been updated with the tier 3 gear, and they are the best way to farm the Blood Hunter tier 3 set alongside the other tier 3 sets. And why I mentioned the Blood Hunter set specifically is because it seems to be the most expensive set to lithograph and sell at the moment. And yeah, this is a good way to farm that set. On the first day of T2, of T3 actually, I was lucky to get the chest and lithograph it straight away from one of the contract vendors' bags, the noble bag, and I made 5k from just that transaction alone, which I've since only made like 2-3k, not played that much. But yeah, so that was something I was a bit surprised to see as well, that all the T2 bosses have been updated with this T3 gear, and it doesn't look like the level of difficulty is changed in any way. The mechanics are the same. So if your guild is, let's say you don't have enough people to complete the ascended bosses, you can always do the old content, and in some cases that's actually better. It's going to save you time. And as you can see, for the Adentus we did with 16 people, and currently we got 9, 12, we got about 13 people in total when we're doing Pakilo Naru, and that's more than enough. We could probably get it done with 10 people, maybe even 8, which is going to take a bit longer. So I'm giving you an overview of the entire guild raid for this week, because we do all these basically one after the other, and we prioritized Pakilo Naru. We're doing a few runs of that boss at the moment. After that we're going to do some Daigon, and of course you can always get some of the T2 sets that are still not too bad, and you can always get the weapons and use the passives, the T2 weapons, which you can use the passives in heroics and stuff. They're not on sale on the auction house, so that's another good way to farm those. So stay tuned and see what drops we get. Pakilo Naru is one of the more tanky T2 bosses because of the shield he casts. But still, it doesn't take too long. The ascended bosses take way longer to kill and require more damage. This one we just run over, we don't even look at mechanics at this stage. So what you can see is that from the first few runs we get a few of the Blood Hunter boots and hands, gloves, which are very welcome. So on this occasion you can see I got the Blood Hunter hands myself. They cost about 700 lucent to be lithographed at the moment, and you can see I also completed my weekly by doing these bosses, which is another reason to do those. And I got this bag from the weekly, and that gave me a cloak. The cloak I actually want to use anyway, but not so good trade. So what we're doing while we're waiting in between bosses is we're having a look at their loot tables. And one of the ways to browse the loot tables is just go to the guild raid portal in your guild house and just click through them. As you can see, there's quite a few of the sets on Daigon and Leviathan. You got good items on those. You got the Royal Praetor set, which is still best in slot, which I'm still using. That can drop there too. So the T2 bosses, they have many positives, and they need to be, you shouldn't forget about those. And as you can see with Daigon, we climb on a rock there to avoid some of the debuff, and we try and lower our health a bit, because if you're under 50% health on this boss, you can do more damage. So that's also happens when the boss is under 50%, he does way more damage. In my case, I'm the off tank, and don't lower my health because it's not going to make a big difference. But I also got passive healing from Vampiric. So Daigon is one of my favorite bosses because he drops my weapon. He drops the Daigon SNS, which I still think it's the best SNS for farming, and I think for all kinds of content really. That's why I have it in my heroic. And I'll make a separate video giving you an example of how Daigon works in farming scenarios and also in PvP scenarios, and how it also compares to using Whirling Strike and Piercing Strike, Whirling Shield and Piercing Strike without actually having Daigon passive. It is a night and day difference. You'll notice the damage numbers are totally different, and yeah, I'll show you. That will be a fun video to make. So I think we run Daigon a few times here. I've removed the bits where it's boring, and we're just waiting, running to portals and stuff. Of course, use your Guardian, adds damage, especially the Camarcheo one gives you a lot of cooldown speed, which allows for spamming abilities a bit more. And my build is, at the moment, is just a general build. It's not meant to do that much if you're not taking aggro. Because so if you're not getting hit, you're not going to have counter barrier reset your piercing strike, so your damage is going to be restricted. But you know, for this kind of raids, it's fine. I could take provoke and take aggro, but I didn't, because we have enough tanks. So this is with the guild Kosang Tortuga. We're casual, we do these kind of things weekly. If you want to join us, feel free to do so. We're on the, I think it's Justice server. Used to be Fortune before. So here I show you the loot tables of some of these bosses. You can see quite a few tier 3 items listed. That was not very well announced, I think, in the patch notes, in the actual like Tico talks and so on. I've not seen this being advertised. It is the same with the T2 Abyss dungeons. They have updated the loot tables. They do drop tier 3, and the solo dungeons do as well in Dimensional Trials. But it's not that widely advertised. So I'm gonna make some videos to showcase this. So almost every type of content is worth doing at the moment, and there's too much content to do these days. If you focus on battlegrounds, you probably can't do everything else at the same time. It just the game can be very time consuming. I tend to try and keep my points close to zero, like the Mystic Portals, everything you see on the right top part of the screen. I try and keep it close to zero, but it's almost impossible even if you put all your time into it. And I still don't get enough time to farm Nebula, but I'm going to do a Nebula video as well. I want to try and farm Nebula solo and show you if that's viable or not. But at the moment, yeah, it's good that the game is taking this direction where you're able to devote your time in whichever way you feel. At the moment, most expedient may be to do a bit of the Dimensional Trials to clear your dungeon tokens and get at least the first 6 levels of your weekly Dimensional Trial rewards. And see, I'm getting these T2 helms, Immortal Legionnaire helms. They're not so good, but maybe the traits will be. I got one. What trait is it? The endurance? I'm going to check it later. So I still kind of think it's a good time to sell everything you get. It's likely in the next few weeks it's going to be cheaper to upgrade your stuff. Just stack some lucent. So we're having a look at the Leviathan drops. Having a look at, yeah, see, Talus has the orbs added, has some jewelry and weapons. So do the other ones. They still have the Amitoids in there. See, Juno Goat, Ascended Excavator. And as a wand user, I'm more interested in the wands, and the excavator wand, I don't like it. It's tied to a shield on a big cooldown, and that shield is... I don't have shield power to make it more stronger and so on. But the SNS passives, they're nice, but I've chosen Daigon. I'm sticking with that. I think it's better than anything else. And it's also cheap, which is always good. And there we go, we're into the next Daigon. This time it's going down a bit quicker. So you got 7 guild raid bosses to complete in the week. It doesn't take too long. It's about, if you're using the T2 one, it's about 10 minutes per boss or less. So that's about an hour and 15 minutes something. And the difference between the old ones and the new one, like the ascended ones only allow you 3 resurrections, and the old ones used to allow you 10 resurrections. I haven't fully tested that for these T2 level 55 bosses. I think they still allow you 10 resurrections, but because they don't actually wipe us, I don't test. I don't have an opportunity to test. Maybe I'll do it next time. There you can see low health, Daigon starts doing a bit more damage, but his health also drops way faster. So let's see what we get from him again. So see, I got the same helmet, the Immortal Legionnaire's helm. Again, well, we're stacking those. But we dropped also the Fallen Dynasty Sabatons, which one of the new tier 3 sets. That's alright. And I can talk about the tier 3 sets and why I don't like most of them. I think the critical damage one, which is Blood Hunter, which is the most expensive, I think that one's viable. But the ones we can use as a sword and shield wand Templar, I mean, there's one that gives you heavy attack resist. I don't like that one. I think you can stack way more heavy attack evasion, and you don't need heavy attack resist. You don't need to worry about it. With my Beast build, using Royal Praetor, I still got 10% heavy attack resist, but I got like 2000 heavy attack evasion, so yeah, way better than that set. Because you get like 18% shield block and 25% crit from Royal Praetor and more, so nothing comes close to that. And the other set that's more offense focused gives you damage on your heavy attacks, and I think that one's alright if you're a great sword user, but not for us. Because yeah, even if you are a great sword user and you have SNS on you, then I'll still recommend Praetor. There's nothing better. But yeah, if you're SNS glass cannon, you can take that heavy attack bonus damage. Why not? So yeah, another day, another Daigon kill. Everyone's TPSing as hard as they can. I think ideally we would have turned him to face the most people on the rock with his back, but we don't optimize it that much. 30 seconds here and there, doesn't matter. Let's see what he drops now. I mean, I'm doing this to show you how guild raids usually go, and this is the easy mode. So we got 2 tier 2 necklaces which have good trades and stuff, and some of them are usable, and then we got our T3 drops, so yeah, all good for 10 minutes. And what I would recommend is, if you don't have a guild, just join one. Join a casual guild, do your raids. There's no reason not to. It's just a way to make friends, bond with people, and just, yeah,